And hello everyone, welcome to this video. So in this video, I just want to explore and play around with OPCUA .NET standard stack from the OPC Foundation. Now they released their open what do you call that? They released their code under GPL2, GNU Public License 2. So that means it's pretty open source. Only thing is that any derivative code must have this must be released under this same license if you ever share it. So that's the only thing, and that's good. It's open source, it keeps it that way. So I just cloned, I made a fork of the OPC UAServer, which you can just clone on GitHub, or you can even clone their own master branch. I'm just doing this so I can just play around with it. So in this video, I just want to do some like basic hello world stuff, toggle some settings and all that. But before that, again, just want to emphasize that you need to have openssl 1.0 installed. So 1.0, this is available on archlinux. So this is very important. You have to make sure this is installed in order for this to work. So I'm just going to go to the applications directory. So this is the applications directory here, or the applications directory here. I'm going to cd there, and we will have a console reference server. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to make a new Git branch. Okay, play and experiment. Okay, so I'm going to check out that branch. Git checkout, play and experiment. Oh, I haven't spelled checkout properly. Play and experiment. Okay, so I'm on the play and experiment branch here. I'm using a Z shell or Arch Linux using the power level 10K config that's available there. That's why you have all these nice status bars, which is very useful. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy this console reference server as before. That's a console reference server. Yeah, console reference server. Console reference server. CPAR console reference server. And I'm going to put into a test server. Test server. So I can play around with this server, I can modify the code. Anything goes wrong, I can always switch back to the console reference server. And of course, I can actually git commit and everything. Okay. So let's go to the test server, or maybe I'll just git add test server, and then everything on the play and experiment branch I will just commit to the test server. Okay. Actually, I don't want to edit yet. Let me restore. I want to delete some files. Staged test server. Let me restore that. First, I don't want to add unnecessary files. What is the unnecessary file I want to remove? I want to remove this mono reference server CS project, because I'm not using mono to do .NET stuff. I'm using .NET 6.0. Okay, so I'm using that .NET 6.0 to do this. So I'm just going to delete it, and I'm going to do .NET build right here. And remember, again, this will only work with the openssl library 1.0. So everything should be pretty okay. And I will be using NeoVim, though not the most efficient way of using NeoVim. I'll be using NeoVim mainly to start and edit the stuff, and I have some LSP servers to help with all of that. So in case you're wondering what I'm using, I'm not using VS Code, I'm using NeoVim. Okay, so I'm going to clear everything up. I'm going to start NeoVim here. Okay, open up the tree. So I have a nice left panel. Okay, I'm going to split it in half. And I'm going to open up a terminal here, the Z shell terminal. And I'm going to do .NET run with a framework of .NET 6.0. Okay, this is how you start the OPC UAServer. So, yep, it says check certificate, start server, everything checks out nicely. Okay, so how, excuse me, how do you make the server like print stuff? All right, I'm not going to play around with the connection just yet. So I just spent some time playing around just now, and yeah, these are the few files you kind of need to zoom in. Okay, Docker run, Docker build, all this I don't really need. In fact, I can just delete them. And I just to prevent data overload, I just want to remove the Docker build, Docker star. Anything to do with Docker, I will delete. Okay, Docker run, Docker build. Okay, then I will go to the left hand side. I'll have that dotnet trace Docker file. I'll just delete that as well. Or rather, I just delete the Docker file, remove Docker file, and I'll delete anything to do with mono. Remove quick start, mono reference server, config.xml. And I hope this still works. Okay, but if it works, if it doesn't work, I can always just copy everything over again. Doesn't really matter. It just takes more time, but this should work properly. Okay, I'm just playing with .NET Core 6.0. Okay, and that's how you run the server. .NET Run Framework Net 6.0. Okay, two things at least to start. Okay, now we've actually pared down everything here to just these little things. Two things to start. When you just want to print stuff here, look at program.cs. Okay, they're asking for a solution because they want to start the Rosalind, the OmniSharp server, I think. This is not really related to the OPCUA server. It's a language server protocol, basically IntelliSense. But it's not really IntelliSense. I think that's trademark. So, okay, so here we are. Public static class program, that's where we start our program, and the place where we start our main server program is this public static. I think the highlights don't look too good. Public static async task main. So this is a asynchronous code. I'm not completely familiar with it, but I'm just gonna get my hands dirty and play around with things. Okay, one thing I find useful to change if you want to start printing stuff is that you notice we have this thing, .NET Core OPCUA reference server. So we have things like this, and the way to print here is using the output write line. And this output is actually a text writer kind of an object, and it's somehow one of the properties within the console object right here, console.out. So text writer output equals console.out. So output.writeLine blah blah blah. All of this is the standard way of writing code or writing stuff, putting output within OPCUA server. At least this reference server right here. Okay, so if I want to, let's say, just for example, add output writeLine. Okay, this one is very simple. Hello world. Simple hello world. That's what you will do. I basically just copied and pasted the above thing here, and I apparently forgot my double close inverted commas. And if everything goes right, I should see a hello world there. This is just to get us started. Okay, see, there's a hello world right here. That's fine. You can just press Ctrl C to close everything. So I'm going to delete this because that's just the basics, bare basics. I don't want it to crowd things out. Now I think the thing is that the OPC server is basically, well, the most important part that I'm probably interested in is the while loop. So this server is basically here just waiting for connections. So there behind the scenes there is some while loop waiting. Okay, I just pressed the URLs by accident, click the URLs by accident, and this is not going to load very much at all. So I'm just going to close that. But yeah, the logic behind the server is that there is a while loop going on. Yeah, we should speak soon. But anyway, yeah. So there's a while loop. There's a while loop at the back going on. It's waiting for a Ctrl C signal. Okay, where's the Ctrl C signal kind of received? So if you scroll all the way down, here, you will see this thing over here. this wait for timeout or Ctrl C. Quit event equals console utils Ctrl C handler. Boolean Ctrl C equals to quit event, wait 1, timeout. So this is basically where we wait for this Ctrl C event, so to speak. Okay, so where is the server, you know, while loop being executed? Because over here basically we do not see any kind of a while loop. Okay, the while loop is actually found in the UAServer.cs right on the left. Okay, I'm using Nerd3. If you're using Visual Studio, your Program Explorer, File Explorer will be on a different side. Visual Studio Code again on a different side. It's really up to you. Okay, but okay, here in the UAServer we have a while loop here. Okay, while loop on line 265. This is a task. This is the status thread which prints connection status every 10 seconds. Okay, basically you will not see this thing actually so-called being executed. Okay, you will not see this being executed because I'm not connecting any servers here just yet. So how then do we write line here? How then do we write the lines? Okay, so what I can do is this again. I make another output object. Okay. I mean, there are two ways of getting the output object. One is to use this same one is to use this same method right here. Text writer output equals console.out. Okay, we can use this same. No, I won't call it method. Yeah, use this same object. Yeah, use this same object. So here is the while loop. Okay, it says while mServer not equals to now. Whatever mServer is, probably it means that the server is running. While mServer not equals to now, and then I can just print something here. Okay, this is an asynchronous task, and await is just a standard way of getting a function or getting a function to run, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so here is our output object, and I can just use output dot write line. Okay, hello 1 2 3. Okay, so this is where the while loop is. You can basically I guess run functions every few seconds here. It says a delay wait for I don't know how many milliseconds. So this is every 1 second. Okay, await task delay. This is basically every 1 second. This whole line of code is being run. So this is the status thread async task. Okay, it's probably being run somewhere. We can maybe take a look later, but for now, don't bother with it. We can just print hello 1 2 3 every 1 second. Okay, see the delay here is 1 second. So let's just print that every 1 second. Okay, so start the server and you see hello 1 2 3 is being printed every 1 second. Okay, so of course I want to make sure that the user knows to press Ctrl C. We can of course put this line right here to tell the user please press Ctrl C to exit, so that you know if you kind of forget how to exit, you can just make sure this line is here. So this is just another way. Okay, output right line, and I'll close it up, semicolon, that's it. Okay, and this will make it print 2 lines of code, or 2 strings rather, 2 strings every few seconds. One is called hello 1 2 3, one is called server starter, please press Ctrl C to exit. So you see hello 1 2 3. Okay, if you don't want it to print so often, of course I can wait. I can make sure the delay is a bit longer, maybe 2.5 seconds, yeah? Because it might get annoying after a while. So this is something we can do. And of course, once you know how to execute code here, you can start executing other more complex functions. And you can see this thing is running a lot slower now. Hello 1 2 3 server started. Press Ctrl C to exit. Okay. Okay. So this is just a way of getting us the some useful code, or at least execute code every single few seconds. Okay, so what's the status thread async? Okay, so you can see that the start async here, this code start async has a try and catch loop. This is a standard try and catch exception. Okay, so basically it tries to run this code right here. Okay, it tries to run this code right here, and if that code doesn't work, it will throw some exception here. So here is a status thread. So we can basically this m status equals to task.run status thread async. So this is basically running this function here, the status thread async function. Okay, this is a status thread async function, and if we want to make our own function and do stuff, then we can just keep make new things. We can actually make a new task and get this what do you call it? Get the start server. The start async server. Okay, the start async server. Yeah, start async server. Okay, why is this one look a bit different? Oh yeah, it's over here. Yeah, so m server is this thing here. So m server is like, I think whether the server is running or something like that. And what's this m status here? M status, I think it's a boolean. M status. It looks like a boolean to me. Okay. But yeah, I don't think we really yes. Here's the task m status. Okay, so you can make it run more than one task, I'm assuming. Yeah, you can make it run more than one task. Okay, so let me stop the server because I think that's enough. Yeah, so basically, just by analyzing these few lines of code, you can basically start your own custom task and make the server do what you want. Okay, now before I continue writing, maybe okay, before I get too long and too draggy, okay, probably what I want to do is, I want to do one last thing. Okay, if you want extra things, like you want to see extra information about the server, there are two options you can basically switch on. Okay, you can see under the async task main. Okay, this is where the async task main is. You can go to command line options right here, console log and AppLog. Okay, logConsole and AppLog basically it allows you to print and see more useful information. So I guess I can change this to true. logConsole and AppLog, I can change these two things to true. And the next thing, if I start running the server, okay, you will see a lot of interesting information right there. Okay, see, now you see that's a lot of information here, and then it will start doing the server will start doing its things. Okay, so this is basically how you can get started with this reference server, test server, do whatever you want. Okay. Yeah, so I think I'll stop for now. I think next time we can try making our own tasks, like this status thread async task. And just a correction just now, I think m status here is not a boolean. This is actually a task. Okay, this is a region private members. Under region private members, I think you'll be able to see something in Visual Studio, but I do not see anything in Vim and new Vim. So this m status is a task. It's as a private member, and this m status is defined once you start this. Yeah, equals to task.run. So these are tasks that you kind of have to probably add, if you want to make your own task, add another private member here, add another asynchronous task right here. You can just copy and paste, and then get the yeah, you can what do you say? Yeah, you can start a status thread, you can start another thread, ask it to do different things, so on and so forth. Okay, so I think now more or less we are done. I'll just git add all of this. Okay, you will program dot applications test server CR. Oh, right. Okay, this probably some CRLF. I think these are just character font issues. Okay, hopefully it doesn't mess up the code too much. Okay, but the main objective of this is done. I'll just commit hello one, hello world, done. Okay, and that's it. Thanks for watching, if you're watching. But anyway, this mainly for me, so don't forget how to do this. Right.